Hi, this is Dr. Farley. I want to go over with you today. There's a lot of patients that are coming in. We run these super immune panels on them, and I'm seeing this more and more. I just did a consultation with the director of the lab because I see so many patients. We sometimes go over some of the cases. And one of the things that we're seeing is what's called polyreactive antibodies. So what you want to know is that this is, you have these antibodies, and some of them are, they can be good and bad. But the role of polyreactive antibodies in health and disease is a big one. And there's three types of antibodies. There's monospecific, and a monospecific antibody would mean here's a germ, and here's an antibody, and then let's just call this measles. This comes in, and then you make the antibody, and then forever your body puts this in memory, and every time measles comes in, you have the monospecific antibody, and you get rid of the measles. In that case, it's a virus, but it could be against any other type of pathogen. So there's the antibody. Then there's cross-reactive. So that may mean that measles, which is the orange marker, also looks like Epstein-Barr, which is the blue marker. So if we made this marker against measles, we may have a cross-reactivity against Epstein-Barr, or vice versa. So that also means that the immune system is a little bit flexible. It can actually cross-react. Sometimes it's thought of as a mistake, sometimes it's thought of as a benefit. And then lastly is this thing called polyreactive antibodies. That usually happens over a time frame when the immune system has low immune tolerance. So immune tolerance means my immune system responds properly to the environment. And the environment is smells, allergens, foods, chemicals, anything from the outside that's coming inside of you. And your immune system has a lot to deal with because we're sending a lot of immune reactions at our own immune system between our food and the chemicals and the sprays, and then other things that create immune imbalance. So the polyreactive antibodies, they basically were discovered in 1983, and you can have these polyreactive antibodies, and over a time frame, if you do have these polyreactive antibodies, there's a higher chance that you're going to produce antibodies against yourself and become autoimmune. So in health, these polyreactive antibodies can be part of your first line of the immune defense. They can have direct neutralization of a specific virus. They have diversification where they can work on different pathogens. And they also are part of your maintenance of immune tolerance. And again, your immune tolerance means you want proper immune tolerance. You want the immune system to be tolerant to the environment, okay? And if you have low immune tolerance, it means it's not tolerant and it tags everything. And that's kind of an overreactive immune system. And a lot of people that are actually dying of the COVID are actually having a low tolerant immune system. They overreact, and then the immune system actually is what destroys them and kills the patient. So those are the healthy things that the immune system does. When the polyreactive immune cells get detrimental and in a dis-ease, lack of normal function state, they can become part of autoimmunity, allergies, and even cancers. So how do we know that we have this? Well, over a time frame, as I run a lot of these panels on people, thousands of these things at this point in time, we are seeing more and more of the testing come back where we see a lot of color. So let's just call it green is normal, yellow is abnormal, and pink is extremely abnormal. So when we get those back, those immune panels, if we see a lot of color on all the tests, it means we have low immune tolerance, especially on the food panel. And if we see that we've lit up like that, then what that means is the immune system, you have low immune tolerance and you're overreacting to everything. It means it's a stressed out immune system. So where is 85% of the immune system? In the gut. So we must go look at the gut. We must tend to the gut. We do that by brain-based care because the brain fires down to the gut. You can't have a good gut with a weak brain. We look at the foods coming in, and then we look at the specific nutrients that support proper gut function, proper immune function at the gut level, which is called your mucosal immune system. And there are specific protocols. I don't want to call them protocols. There are specific foods, nutrients, vitamins, minerals that are essential at letting that gut get healthy. And only when you get the gut healthy can you possibly improve immune tolerance. It doesn't happen any other way. It can't happen. So all patients with autoimmunity have gut problems, all of them. So any type of autoimmunity, you must look at the gut. The most common autoimmune is thyroid. Second most common is anything gastrointestinal. That could be GERD, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, constipation, gassy, bloating. All of that could be autoimmune on the gastrointestinal system. And again, that means you've made antibodies and now your own immune system is destroying your body from the inside. The third most common tissue is blood sugar and diabetes, and yet no one tells the diabetic patient that you could be autoimmune, and that's creating your blood sugar diabetic problem. The fourth is brain, spinal cord, and nerves. This can show up as depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, sleep abnormalities, neurodegeneration like Parkinson's disease, movement disorders, gluten ataxia, tremors, all kinds of other issues, inability to concentrate, just weird, we'll call it weird neurology stuff. And then we have the more common autoimmune, like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, scleroderma. Again, multiple sclerosis goes into the nervous system. Lou Gehrig's disease would be in there. So anyway, what we know is that those are the autoimmune issues. Now, what are the major causes of polyreactive antibodies? Which means, why do I have low immune tolerance? And then why do I produce so many of these antibodies that are attacking everything from environmental chemicals to foods to my own body? Why is that? Well, there's about 15 things directly from Dr. Vujjani, who's done all the research on this. So pathogens, and by the way, a lot of pathogens are periodontal pathogens in your mouth, your teeth, root canals. These things can be major problems because they seep pathogens. A root canal is like a gangrene tissue inside your body. And yet this is done over and over and over again. You can seep pathogens inside the system, and you can also seep microbes and biofilm formation. Bacterial toxins from those pathogens, also gut pathogens when you have dysbiosis, viral antigens, especially Epstein-Barr, human and bacterial heat shock proteins, molds and mycotoxins, especially Stachybotrys and sarcotoxin, which is a common bacteria in environmental buildings, water damaged buildings. Some vaccines containing viral or bacterial antigens, toxic chemicals, and food proteins. Toxic chemicals, again, or food colorants. Medications with specific chemical structures that directly or indirectly form neoantigens with the human tissue. It means you take this chemical, it comes in, it attaches to a tissue, and now your immune system attacks it. So even medications can be part of this polyreactivity that we see. Bioactive nanoparticles containing chemicals from gelatin, dextrane, and human albumin. Lectins, agglutins, especially peanut and bean agglutins. Seaweeds, various gums and oleosins that are commonly found in foods, meat glue and food glue, and then apoptotic cells, nuclear antigens. This is from tissue damage. When there's normal cell turnover, sometimes that also can create these polyreactive antibodies. So if you have these, you just need to know that that you have low immune tolerance. It is going to require some diligent work on your part as the patient to get this under control. And then you can go back and retest again to see that the immune system is gaining tolerance, which means it's calming down, and you're then properly responding. That also would lower your risk of other major diseases down the road, because when we see this polyreactivity, it usually means the immune system is lit up. And again, likely most of the people that are dying of COVID are having low immune tolerance. They may have polyreactivity, likely do, and then the immune system is overreactive, and that overreactive immune system is actually what kills the patient. So these are good if the immune system is in balance and they're part of your normal physiology, but just like anything else, they can get out of balance. So we do this testing on patients, and many times we find this. To restore immune tolerance on patients, it could take 1 to 3 years of being diligently working on this over and over again. And how do you know it's improving? Well, if you go back in the original, let's just call it just the one food panel that we run, of the 180 food panel, we see that there's 97 foods. Well, the next time we run it, there's 51 foods. Next time we run it, there's 21 foods. So you can see that the immune system is calming down. The immune system will not calm down if we don't address the food, the environmental chemicals, the brain, and the proper nutrients that that patient specifically requires to have the immune system work properly. So protocols don't work. It's got to be specific to the patient. And over a time frame, you can get this under control. But this is a significant immune imbalance, and you do not want an immune system that is stuck out of balance with low immune tolerance, because that means that you're going to have major improper reactions to either your own brain, body, tissue, or environmental chemicals, or foods, anything that can actually tweak the immune system. So if you have any questions, please let us know, and thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.